I couldn't afford taxis, I couldn't afford anything, and
You
so
delivered Chinese food?
yes, I did that. I taught Muay Thai. I did all these things just to survive.
And if I beat that $4, let's say if I came in at $3.57, I would be ecstatic.
And so it became a challenge for myself in this Excel spreadsheet of beating this number. I mean,
So that $4 number is, imprinted in my brain forever.
Any excess money I received went to my mother.
But the money he says to his mother is not enough to get her out of poverty, so she soon finds herself out of options.
it got so bad that my mom ended up living with me in the second year in my dorm room.
I stayed Chatri's dorm for a while in his second year.
My mom slept on the bed and I slept on the floor. She had to wait for me in between classes to get into the dorm.
And obviously the school administration had no idea. If they did, I would probably have gotten expelled.
He's a caring person and willing to sacrifice for everything.
When I was in my darkest days, living on $4 a day, 1 meal a day in America, I remember a couple of times when I wanted to quit.
We were in the dorm room and it was, 11 p.m. at night or whatever, midnight, and we were just gonna go to sleep. And I remember the lights are off, I'm sleeping on the floor, my mom's in the bed, and we're just talking, and my mom's like, when we get through all this, I wanna live in New York City. And I think to myself, how can my mom even think about that? New York City is the most expensive city in the world, and here we are living on $4 a day. Like, why would she even say these things? Now I look back on it, by being a dreamer and by being hopeful, injecting your life with hope, it gives you fight for another day. And that was what my mom was doing to me.
Even in the worst times, my mother would always teach me to dream. She used to always tell me, no matter what happens in life, don't lose your heart.
I was so proud of Chatri when he graduated from Harvard. And I told him, this is the beginning of your real life. So be humble so that you can see well.
And as he nears graduation, Chatri receives multiple six-figure job offers.
And I had 4 or 5 job offers, and there were $250,000 job offers or whatever it is, and the safe thing was to do that. But
One of my best friends, Soon Lu, approached me in our last year of business school and said, Chatri, hey, let's start a company together. And I said, that's so crazy. We have no money, we're poor. There's no way we're starting a company. He goes, fine, let's just work on a business plan together. So I said, okay, I'll work on a business plan with you. And when I told my mom this, my mom was initially very, very upset.
She was like, Chatri, no, your father just went bankrupt. You saw that. Why would you want to start a company? Go, you have these safe job offers, go and work your way up the ladder.
So Chatri has a choice to make between following his friend or listening to his mother.
and I turned all my job offers down, and I went to Silicon Valley, and my mom was going to shoot me.
And I said, Mom, just gotta believe, let's go.
There's no furniture in the office. We cannot afford to buy bed. So we slept on a sleeping bag on the floor, and there are frozen food as our meal.
3 years later and $40 million in venture capital later, we had 150 employees.
Eventually, the business got sold for $20 million,
Yeah.
your first taste of real big money.
I was free to do whatever I wanted to do. And I said, you know what? I want to go work on Wall Street and learn how to invest.
And that's exactly what he does. He starts working for a hedge fund and learns to invest.
And I bought my mom an apartment in New York, and I paid for my brother's university fees. I was able to get the whole family out of poverty.
Roll forward a few years, I ended up launching my own hedge fund. And so I was investing all over the world, buying and selling companies. I was on top of the world on paper.
But every day I knew that something was missing. There was just this sense of emptiness. I would say almost depression.
I climbed to the top of Wall Street. I owned a $500 million business, making millions a year. And I was depressed inside. I didn't understand the concept of ikigai at that point.
Ikigai is a Japanese concept that translates to a reason for being. It refers to the intersection of 4 key elements: what you love, what you're good at, what the world needs, and what you can be paid for.
And then I just started thinking about my life. Because when I was dirt poor, I thought, if I make a lot of money, I'll be happy, because all your problems will be solved. And so I was sitting there and I'm like, why is it that I'm not happy?
Then I went downstairs to the sushi restaurant by myself.
Then I sat there and I just thought to myself, what is the point of my life? I'm buying and selling and shorting companies around the world. What value am I giving?
I know thinking of money never satisfies Chatri. He is very philosophical person.
So I climbed up to the top of the mountain and I realized it's a damn wrong mountain. I'm like, holy cow, how am I gonna get down?
And the craziest thing is my mom's words again echoed that I'm supposed to help people. And I asked myself that question, am I helping people? And I decided I'm going to leave Wall Street.
And I came down to something very simple. The meaning of life is the love we share and the impact we make. And that's it. Nothing else matters.
The lessons of martial arts, the gifts of martial arts are so precious that I really believe it's the greatest platform to unleash human potential.
And then I called my mom and said, Mom, I'm going to retire from Wall Street and I'm going to go chase martial arts.
She said, Chatri, martial arts and fighting business is done by mafia.
And she was afraid that I was going to get killed by the mafia.
You come from poverty, Chatri. You got to Harvard Business School, got your MBA. You made it out. You're one of the few people who made it out.
I thought Chatri was crazy, leaving Wall Street, but I wasn't surprised about it.
And I said, Mom, this is not my ikigai.
The thing that I love most is martial arts, and I want to figure out a way that I can live through martial arts and help people.
So I said, Mom, I have to go live my ikigai. I don't want to be that warrior who ran away from the love of his life because he saw a tiger. I want to unleash greatness in the world through the beauty and the power of martial arts.
Whether I disagree with him or not, he always chooses his own path.
Now remember, the fourth component of the Ikigai is what you can be paid for. And in choosing martial arts, Chatri saw a tremendous business opportunity.
I looked at every region of the world and I saw every region of the world had multi-billion-dollar sports media properties.
So if you go to America, it's NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball, and the like. You go to Europe, it's F1 and Champions League and EPL. And these are all worth $50 to $100 billion.
You come to Asia, at the time, there was nothing.
And no one had ever tried to unite 4 billion people, the world's largest population base, around one sports property.
Then I said, man, but Asia's the home of martial arts for 5,000 years. Japan has karate,
Korea, Taekwondo, China, Kung Fu, Russia, Sambo, Thailand, Muay Thai, Indonesia, Silat, Philippines, boxing and Kali, and the list goes on and on.
So the idea finally hit you.
So I said, okay, I am going to start Asia's first multi-billion-dollar global sports media property. I almost feel like the Forrest Gump of martial arts. I was very naive to think I could pull this off.